Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, awesome day, right? We've seen Nvidia literally carry the market to a new all-time high at 503 something during the pre-market hours, 504.51, right? So at open, we saw a strong setup here. We stuck to the rules and did not trade within the first 30 minutes of market open. All right, we seen that you have a bear trap here, right? There were so many bear traps here today, it was crazy. So you have here, right? You have a stronger, higher high in price. First, basically, it breaks below this low here, right? It breaks below this low here, right? We enter into calls. Whoever stuck enter short here got squeezed to a new high, right? And then yeah, we saw that setup today. We didn't take that. We stuck to the 30-minute rule. And I saw this thing here as well, and I did not take a single trade here, right? We saw a some type of pennant, a bullish pennant here breakout, right? We didn't take that. So we were in the group today, and I said to these guys in the group chat, I was like, okay, so we have, you know, we are looking to hold above this area, right? We So I said in the group chat and the voice call today, I was like, okay, we see this prior resistance here, right? We fell, and then we broke above it, retested several times at this 504 area, which is our new demand zone, right? Held it several times and squeezed higher, right? And the reason where we entered calls, myself, I look to add into calls early. If we go to the 1 minute here, um, okay, so my reasoning to enter the calls earlier today, it was literally I entered somewhere around this candle, right? And of course we went lower here. So the reason why I entered into the call setup here around this candle, so my low, we saw a higher high in price, right? And I did see this. We didn't break below it, of course, but I added some here, and then as soon as we reject here, right, I basically went off of the Fibonacci. So from this first move low to this high, right, we saw a strong move down. I added some here, and basically we were mentioning in the group chat that okay, don't be scared of this liquidity sweep. Basically, what they want to do here is they want to scare you out, right? Basically, this is what you call a stop rate. They want to stop rate you, which means like if you were into calls here, right, and you see this strong move down, right, you're gonna want to sell. I added some on this low. I was not scared. Literally, we saw this break here with when this inside bar, right, squeeze higher, and we were okay. So I entered around somewhere here with the average, right? We broke above here is my basically my break even point, right? At this high around near 505.30. So let me mark that on the chart here, right? 505.30 with a stop at this low here, right? And I scalped these today, but if we did held runners, then they would have paid for sure. But that's just hindsight, right? So basically, we scaled some out here above, break above this high. We scale some here, right? We scale some on this candle right here. If I can tag, and then I scaled some as well up here on these highs, and on this candle lower, I was not very bullish because on the 15-minute we broke below it. So if you look on the 15-minute, where is it? So on the 15-minute, right? Oops, what was that? Oopsies. On the 15-minute, right? We saw a weakness here, right? Let me scroll this across here. So on the 15-minute, right? We broke below it. So I was waiting for a confirmation candle close above the 15-minute chart, and we broke it below. So I sold some and did not hold any position above below this candle close. But we saw if you look on a 3-minute chart, right, you have a new um, basically you have several bear traps. So we sold here, and there was a bear trap as well here, right? If you go to the 3 minute, you see this high, right, is a high, this newer higher high, right? And this was the higher low, the low. It broke below the low, squeeze higher, right? Same thing here, higher in price, right? Trap the shorts here, so went higher, and um yeah, it was several bear traps here. See, 1, 2, and 3, well, 4 here, and move higher. So congrats if you guys took that trade today. These ran over 300 and something percent if you guys held them throughout the whole day, but hindsight, I didn't get to hold them for the full measured move, and it was just kind of, it was just not the way that. And plus I was heading to the gym and stuff too, so I try not to kind of hold into any position whenever I'm heading to the gym. But let's kind of go over this bear trap. You guys want to learn about this bear trap setup that we talk about a lot? So okay, you see this high, right? You make this high here, right? Look at this. Let me delete this, right? Okay, here he goes. Let's delete that as well. So okay, you see this high? We made a high right here, right? So now this is a higher low, right? This low is now higher than this low, correct? Right? So now you want to look, okay, what we look for is, okay, we saw buyers here, right? We saw buyers here. The stop loss for the short, right? The seller is up here. This is where the buyers step in, right? For a new higher high, right? And now you see here, we made a higher in price, right? This is a new high. Is higher. This high is now higher than this price, right? But we see here the sellers, right? They want to push price lower here, right? They trap the short here, right? And then they squeeze, right? So this is what you call a bear trap, right? You have a higher high in price, and this is where you take the calls. Why? Because you invade this stop loss, right? This is what you call a bear trap setup. This is what the shorts got squeezed several times today on this same very setup, right? And same thing here. You look on this setup, right? You have a higher high in price, right? Higher high, right? So now you see the short came here, right? And you let me copy this here so I can drag it across, right? So this is the short, right? You see this where the shorts came in here as soon as they came under, right? And look, squeeze above. And same thing here, right? You see this, right? You see this higher high, low, high, higher low, higher high, right? This is your high. This is new high, previous high, right? Dump it down. This is where your low is, right? Your higher low, right? You break below it, squeeze. Look at this, right? Same thing here, right? Same thing here. Look, you see here, you have higher in price, right? And this is your low, right? Break below, squeeze, right? Same thing. This is what we saw all day, right? And if you go to the 3 minute now, you can see it here too, right? Okay, see here? See this high, right? You have this is a new high setup, right? This is a low, right? This is your high, higher low, higher high, right? Break below, right? Squeeze. This is just a picture perfect play, right? You see this. You can't always expect to move higher. I mean, just to get this move alone is $1.31, $1.31 off an option contract. Come on, man, you cannot get anything better than that, right? It was like $2, yeah, $1.30, 30, no, 27 cents, $1.27 in the option contract. That's crazy, right? It's just stuff like that, guys. You have to take your profits on these setups. We make money. Like, just, sometimes we have to leave those runners and just let them run, right? This is the part of the game. You have to let those runners run. But Nvidia really saved the market today. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was really bullish on Nvidia, like, for earnings, and I just didn't want to play them because those premiums were juiced like crazy. But we saw a strong move here, right? Right? Nvidia, strong move, right? Even off the fib here, we retrace back to the 618, right? Oh, retrace back to the 618 in the golden zone squeeze. Yeah, I see Nvidia hitting 832.08 soon, but he really saved Nvidia really saved the market today, so that's crazy. But tomorrow, right? Sit on your hands. Don't wait. Even if you see a setup like this, right? You don't want to take it, right? I sat throughout the whole day and didn't even take a single trade until we got to basically I saw my, you know, trap setup, took it and averaged down, and we squeeze higher, right? Sometimes it be like that, man. You have to sit on your hands and wait for a setup to present itself. There's no point in rushing into a trade and get stuck in the trade and won't be able to get out of the trade, right? But sometimes we have to do that. This is how the market moves, and this is how the market rotates. But is there any questions? Like, I want to ask you. I want to know if any of you guys have any questions on tomorrow's like what we were expecting tomorrow, right? We, I am quite not bull. I mean, I am bullish tomorrow, yes, but Fridays are always crazy, right? You see Fridays either make it or break it for the market, right? You have a strong move here, right? Look at this move, dude. This move is crazy, dude. Right? What I like to see tomorrow, right? Kind of everybody's like, oh, we want to go higher. Yeah, we want to go higher, but my expectation for tomorrow is okay. You see here, all right? Let's go here. All right, let me get out of this right now. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, and let's go to the 20-minute. It'd be better for that way. All right. So now we look here from this channel, right? Let's draw this channel here, right? Ooh, ooh. It's not a looking crazy looking candle there, but let's see. Okay, right? You look here, right? Let's go to the 4 hour now. Look at this channel. Let's look at that, right? Target still remains. Let's see this channel here. So this high here, hold this low. Let's look at 4 hour. Okay, 4 hours is a little bit better here, right? So now we see that every time we dip on this trend line, it holds, squeeze. So potentially we could see 512, right? 512 to 511, either tomorrow or even 513. Let's see, what is this? Monday? And Monday, let's go Friday 3. Yeah, 512 is potentially not very like, I mean, it's just possible tomorrow. 512 is possible, actually. 512 is possible. And let's see what my game plan is. Okay. So you see we're holding this 15-minute channel, right? You see this. So let me turn that off here. So we see this 15-minute channel. Oops, what the heck did I just turn off? Let's turn this off. All right. So we make new highs here, right? Like we see what I like to see. We have a gap here at 501. I don't like we always talk about every single day, right? Is if a gap is present, we like to see a fill, but not possibly we may not even feel it tomorrow, right? We may possibly feel it sometime next week. We don't know, right? We don't know. whenever the market makers what they want to do. We don't care what they want to do, but let me show you this pattern right quick for you. So, ready for this? So we have a strong move here to the upside, right? Strong move here, right? Literally strong move, but look, we have that pop and grind, right? Pop, push high, grind, 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 right? So now what we do is we draw that trend line across, right? So we draw that trend line across. Let me delete that. That's so ugly. Okay, so now we have this trend line across here, right? Now let's copy and paste this off this low, right? So, like we say, uh, so what we usually talk about is when you have a pop and grind setup. So you have um, basically prices like gradually going up. So now when we get to that trend line, we mark the trend line off those highs, right? Let me go to the 30 minutes so y'all can see. Let's see 1 hour here because we never close above that, right? So now you see here, we barely held above it, right? So this is still considered your pop and grind here, right? Now we see this, right? Price is starting to look like that pop and grind, right? So now if market moves down here or wherever the first test is, because you anchor, you want to draw the trend line across, right? Right? Now, let me delete this sucker. This is ugly. Oops, that was ugly too. So now you want to draw this trend line across, right? Anchor it off these lows here. So let me delete that. That's ugly. Right? You draw this trend line, anchor it off these lows here, right? As soon as price pops right down into whatever price area, wherever the case may be, right? First test off those lows, you buying them calls, yo. Squeeze. We squeezing that sucker right back up. Right? We're in a bull market currently. We don't want to trade short. We don't want to be short. Those hedges I took, I'm already out on them suckers. Those hedges covered my longs, right? Like I said, we're in a bull market, right? And I said it earlier last week. I said, okay, I said basically buyers, right? You have this pop and grind. Look, you even have this pop and grind here too. Look, right? You have this strong move up, right? Pop and grind, right? Pop and grind. Now you anchor it off these lows, right? That is straight ugly. Ew. But you get the point. You get the point, right? You see that pop and grind here, failure, first test off the trend line, squeeze higher, right? So now, if we can push, my target still remains here. But if we continue to pop and grind, if we wake up in the morning, right? If we do see price, right? Either we do this basically. So you already had your strong move higher, right? Then price starts to grind, 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 right? We don't buy anything here. We do not buy anything there, right? We wait, we draw the trend line, right? Draw that trend line across those highs, right? And then you copy the same setup. Low, now you draw it off the first leg here and just drag it across, right? First test off those lows. We wait for a setup that could be like either a bear trap setup. So 1, 2, squeeze higher with a low, and then you squeeze. This is what we go for, that bear trap setup. Or we can see something like this. Basically, you have your bears try once, try twice, right? And that's your high. We press above those highs, or we can see something like this with not the same setup, but it'd be something like, okay, yeah, now we have this setup here, right? We pull back, and then we see buyer step in, right? And you still see this pop and grind setup. So you grind, right? Draw those trend line across and copy and paste it off this low, right? Now price comes back to this low. We enter off of that. It could be, and then retest those highs, right? It could be something like that, or it could be something like, well, let's say if we continue higher, right? Price continues higher, right? And then something like, you know, either it doesn't pull back, right? Pulls back something like this, right? Comes back, makes a high and a lower low, right? Now you see this is where we make lower lows. This is your low. This is your lower low. It doesn't make a new high though, right? And but once this candle goes higher, we use this here as a stop loss, right? And we short it back down, right? That's just that's one thing that we could be watching for tomorrow, or we can be doing something similar to that, or we can do there's so many things we could do, guys. It's a lot, but I want you guys to get picture perfect at this setup, right? We have a higher high, right? And this low for a squeeze higher. I need you guys to take a picture of this. This is what you guys need to know. This is your bear trap setup. Setup. Screenshot this. Write it down. Save it on your picture or something, right? We enter those calls, right? We enter those calls. If it breaks the low of this, we enter those calls, right? Anywhere under the trend line, we enter calls. That's your bear trap setup. That's where we enter calls. Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of we're starting to see a lot of like crazy earnings now, and market is starting to come really bullish. So don't fight the trend. The trend is your friend, right? But that's just the truth of it. Like we need to trade according to trend, and when you sit on your hands and you wait for the setup, this is the best setup, right? You want to wait for the best setup to present itself, right? Because like look at this, right? Let's go to the 3 minute, right? Let's go to the 3 minute here. If I can 3 minute, right? Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think here, right? Let me ask you, if you take this trade off a breakout, right? And your stops is here into here. Do you think that's a do you think that's a good setup? Let me ask each of you guys. Do you think this is a good setup? You said my brightness is low? For those who are watching, do you think that setup right here is a good setup? This here, do you think that's a good setup? And if so, why do you think that's a good setup? You took that setup, but let me ask you, did you took a big L, right? Exactly. The market doesn't want this is so common nowadays that people literally trade the same stuff, right? And the market makers already know that you're going to trade that. You're going to take that same setup every time, right? Everyone's going to take the setup, right? Everyone's going to take this bullish pennant breakout, whatever the case may be, right? And they're going to chop up the premiums and hold above this trend line all day. Why take the setup, right? It doesn't even guarantee you a great risk to reward, right? As soon as this pop here, squeeze right back down. Like literally, this pop is barely like, I don't think it's a perfect setup, but I mean, there's so many better setups nowadays, right? Like, look, Let me ask you this. Do you think this is a good setup? If I can find that. This was an awesome setup, right? Think about it. You took calls below this here, right? I mean, most of you guys probably think we was going to go lower, right? Nah, I didn't believe it. We're going to go lower today on SPY. Too many strong momentum here on tech. Tech is going crazy, right? You have a bear trap set up here, right? Squeeze higher, and if you took those calls on this low, bruh, like you're gonna have to worry about nothing today, not a single thing. Today was crazy for those calls, dude. Right? This I would never ever take a setup like this again. Never. We trade traps, failures, two try failure, or whatever the case. But we won't take any bull breakouts. Nah, that's never gonna pay us the good risk to reward, and we never want to take anything unless it gives us a good risk to reward. That's just me personally. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that. I mean, nothing really else to really kind of go over, but I think market could go higher tomorrow. And the reason why I didn't trade SPY yesterday, right? We didn't trade SPY yesterday at all. Not even a single time. I did not trade SPY at all yesterday, dude. You know why, right? But I mean, if you guys follow my Twitter, you kind of had an idea of what I was looking for from the SPY. Right? We see here, hey, one thing to note down, right? Your block orders. This is if you guys are trading every day, I need you guys to mark this down. Oops, that was not what I was supposed to do. Yucky. Uh, here he goes. Right? So you have a block order. What block orders tell us as a trader is this is an area where we have active buyers or sellers. So that's an area, right? So you see here yesterday, right? If you see Tuesday's range, because I will go over it now, right? Let me go over that. I'm gonna just mark it white and then this low here, white, right? And then we had that gap here, right? We spoke about this gap previously, right? That never filled at this low, right? We had this gap here, right? Okay. So one thing is first. Block orders are strong intensive buying. Like there's some basically it's like a bot that buys everything. Like they literally buy the dip several times. Buy the dip several times, right? They buy the dip every like literally if it hits that level, they'll buy it. They don't care, right? So let me show you this, right? So you have your gap fill here, right? But now let me teach you something. So this is Tuesday's range, right? Why I don't trade this? Okay, news, right? You have strong news here. So if you are trading in a day like this, right? Prices like this, it's still inside a previous day, right? You're not gonna if price is not basically either breaking out of the range or breaking lower than the previous day, you're losing money. This is basically decaying. Like you don't want to trade this. Prices like if you were to trade inside of this range, right? The option premium is decaying unless you take something here or you take something to down here. So literally towards the end of day at 1:30, okay, 1:24 p.m. Central Time, if you were to took a trade, that was an awesome setup for you. You had to sit and wait till 1:24 p.m. to take a setup because you broke the low of the prior day and you broke into the gap fill and trapped the short here and retrace higher, right? Like they say, Remember, I tell you guys watch this every single day. I always tell you guys, gap and trap, right? As soon as you feel the gap, what happens? They trap the shorts and they go squeeze the shorts higher like this. Look at that. That was a trap, and you see that every day. This is what we see every day. Oh, what's my Twitter? It's at Sweet Coon Trades, brother. You can follow me there. But yeah, it's just that's just the truth of it. But we crazy day, right? Strong bullish, strong engulfing candle on a daily here, right? Strong bullish engulfing here with the new high, all-time high of 508.49, right? But yeah, I mean, everything was basically played out perfectly. Those hedges worked out nicely. We made about 5% on that. I mean, on shares, that's crazy. Still good, but gotta take it. If your setup presents itself, you take it, right? But thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow alongside us and bank alongside us tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on my Twitter, or you can message me on my Discord account at Sweetcoon Trades. If you guys have any setups y'all looking at or anything, any tickers, feel free to message me. I am gladly here to help any of you guys that would like to learn a little bit more. But yeah, have a great rest of your Thursday. I hope to see you guys soon. Peace, guys.